Today's episode, I'm asking you, how the hell do you stay positive when the news is so negative? And more importantly, how the hell do you stay away from it all? Because you have no idea what's going on in the world, do you?
I don't watch the news.
I don't watch the news. Still see it.
I don't listen to the radio.
I don't listen to the radio either. Still see it.
I don't really use social media for like consumption purposes.
That was easy. I know we say this is backward self-help, but sometimes it's actually just on the money. Don't use your phones. Don't look out the window. Don't read. Don't write. Don't listen. And you'll be fine.
Bad things just draw attention. Whether you want to or not, whether you're trying to find out, like, is it something I need to avoid or be aware of or whatever. Instinctually, we seem to be drawn to negative things. We just can't help but look away. But then how much of your day-to-day life has really changed since all of this has kicked off?
Oh, mine hasn't at all, but the world is still an absolute mess. If you ask most people what their dream would be, I guarantee you it would fall closer to the realm of fairly normal or reasonable than it would outlandish. Do you think we've got to a point in life where people's dreams are becoming more, quote-unquote, basic because the basic things that we all want seem more unobtainable?
You kind of climatize without realizing you're climatizing. Whether it be your dreams dwindling, like when you're a kid, you ask somebody what they want to do. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a vet. I want to be a policeman, a fireman, or what? Asking these days, a TikTok creator or whatever else.
YouTuber. I want to be a YouTuber or a footballer.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Then ask an adult, man, I just want to get through the day.
Believe.
What are you saying, my bro?
So it's a big Dave takeover, isn't it, bro?
It's a big Dave takeover. Yeah. You better start this bad boy with a decent did you know then?
I'm going to start with a decent. How about you do your hypothetical first, Tony?
Oh, damn. It's a Uno reversal.
So the old switcheroo.
Hypothetically, if you could control what your obituary said, what would you want it to say?
He finally doesn't have to set an alarm. He can finally sleep in peace. He shall never be told he snores again.
I reckon you're still snoring the afterlife.
Do you know what I would want it to be? It's just actually like, you know when you play games and like when you die or when you finish a game it has all the stats? I just want it to be stats. Stats. Just time is breathed. Amount of calories consumed. No, it's not enough too.
There's not enough calories.
What else? Don't know if I can say that.
Oh no. Oh no. He was a avid diner at Taco Tuesdays.
I guess it was one of those lines. You know, like, how many liters of fluid have you expelled in your lifetime?
Bro, imagine like, have you seen the film, I think it's In Time?
How many times got sunburned?
Like, imagine you did have like all of your stats from every meal that you've eaten, every calorie that you've consumed.
Most often consumed meal.
Bro, imagine you have a swear words.
Slightly kebab for you,
No.
Most commonly consumed meal. It's even kebab or pizza.
Bro, I used to get Subway every single day of the week.
Oh,
sometimes multiple times.
One of the most unhygienic restaurants ever. So I guess we'll handle your bread, your salad, and your money all together.
Do you know what?
I'm going to do that for the donny before you, and not change my gloves. So you're eating someone's £5 note here.
Nah, allow that. They've always changed their gloves when they've been.
See someone do some dodgy stuff.
Bro, I would stop them and correct them if they ever.
Thank you, bro. The amount of people that don't, I'm like, what are you doing?
Bear in mind, if they make my sandwich messy, I stop them and like, yo, take some care, take some pride in your work. That's my damn food. Try again.
My God.
But, slight tangent, I don't know if it applies to the UK, and this may not be necessarily fact, but look out for yourself. Subway's bread isn't technically bread because of the amount of sugar that it contains. It's actually classified as cake.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Which is absolutely nuts considering they brand themselves as a healthy alternative or whatever.
It's like the lawsuit that Jaffa Cakes had with the government.
Oh, that was so funny.
Over the VAT.
Yeah.
And whether it was a biscuit or a cake, they were like, it's clearly this one. They were like,
So they
I'm not sure about
baked
that. They
like
were
a
like,
2-foot Jaffa cake or something.
it's a cake. And they're like, you think it's a biscuit? They're like, we'll pay you.
Got them on a technicality.
I mean, fair play, man. Fair play. What would
But
yours read?
I don't know. I mean, I
You could
think
just go like the classic panel, he's behind you. At least I get a laugh.
my brain's saying like come up with some witty kind of variation on like here's John. Obviously, like
With a
he's
fake
not.
hand.
Just like a little like I don't know. Like I have this idea of like I'd like to leave the world a better place than it was when I found it, or when I was put into it rather.
That's why I'm not going to be buried. I'm going to be cremated with a bunch of seeds and just scattered all over the world so I just grow everywhere. Rise, children.
I mean, another random thing, like when somebody's cremated, you don't actually get all of their bones as ashes. You only get two bones. It's normally the femur and another bone.
Well, that makes sense.
But
A lot of ash, isn't it?
yeah, but that means that like 96% of every person that is cremated is discarded into a pile of bones that the person doesn't get. Which is kind of mad because again, like the preconceived notion is like you've got all of their ashes, you've got all of that person, but you don't have a fraction of them.
Wonder why they do that.
The amount it would take. So like if you imagine the entire human skeleton ground up into ash, you're not fitting in an urn. Not a small one anyway.
I also just remembered that life is just a scam. So you know how like at the moment we can't get on the property ladder, right? You know, broke. Well, actually, not really that broke, just the world is screwed. But that continues in the afterlife. You want to be buried? Give 50 years. After those 50 years, someone better pay for that. Because you rented it, mate. What you mean I'm renting it, bro? I'm dead. Here. That's getting passed down the family tree, mate. That is a scam.
Yeah.
After 50 years, God knows what gen will be on then, probably like Gen Beta or something. Your like great grandkid comes over and goes, 100 quid for 50 years. Who is he anyway? Nah. And then you're just getting hoofed out somewhere. Like, what? I'm haunting you.
Like a
I'm going to
bloody...
find you and just be like, you're an embarrassment to my bloodline. I'm going to make your life hell. Like, you're going to be in your car and I'm just going to get the steering wheel. Just like, it's just like, I'm going to make you crash into a tree, boy. Like, I'm going to mess you up. How dare you remove me from I could finally sleep. Did you not read the tombstone? And you just hoof me out. And now that guy who hoofed me out is just going, finally sleep. Put a plague on him.
I'm just forgotten about subscription.
You want that one to be forgotten. My mind just goes, oh no, I need to look at my finances. I'm saving for a mortgage.
I mean, bro, some of the traditions just around death around the world are insane in their own kind of right. Like, there's, I think it's like tribes in Africa that will like walk the dead through the town for like a week and like keep them alive to some extent. Again, don't quote me on this. It's not necessarily factual, but like I heard somewhere from something in some time and space, and maybe interpret it in my own way over that time. But yeah, there's so many different, like even in like Mexico, the Day of the Dead, like their traditions around death and everything else. Like the Chinese have their own ideas around death. Like they've got like dragon lines where only somebody of like royalty or distinguished like bloodlines can be buried on the dragon line. So like if you're just a peasant pauper like one of us, you can't be buried there, unfortunately.
Well, look at this country, bro. Go back within the last like maybe 40, 50 years, and you used to have pauper graves. Where like multiple bodies would basically be placed in one plot, and you wouldn't really know who it was. Just, off you go. Legit, I think it was like one of my mom's grandparents was like that, and we had to like figure it out. Wild. Then we just had plots full of bodies, and we'd like, I don't know who that is. Sheila? Well, she's not going to answer, is she, mate? She's dead.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're literally talking about the scenario you was laying out a second ago, though.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, where it's just like, well, we don't know who.
You can't afford to
I
have
mean,
your own plot. All right, we'll
if
share this one.
anything, yeah, if anything, that's worse because it's not like going like, oh, it's who's Sheila, it's who's this group A burial.
Legit.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Mad.
yeah. Oh, death is a very weird part of life.
Yeah. Talking of death, did you know it's 89 minutes to midnight?
Excuse me.
Did you know it's 89 minutes to midnight?
Oh, this is that nuclear, not nuclear, doomsday clock thing, isn't it?
Bang
What?
on.
Okay, what does that actually mean?
So right now they're saying that this is the closest we have been since its inception, which is like 1947, to basically a catastrophic event. It's going to just destroy the world, basically. There's a combination of different things. So it started like way back in like 47 when they were testing nuclear bombs and all that stuff. And then
Okay, how many
basically,
minutes was it to midnight then?
first one was 7.
7 minutes.
7 minutes to midnight. We're now
So it's
18.
getting further away.
It's getting closer to midnight. I mean, we're now 89 seconds away from midnight.
Oh, okay.
1 minute, 29 seconds. And it's a combination of things. So, like, basically, nuclear threat, climate change, like technological warfare, misinformation, a
Oh, God.
whole bunch of things.
We're going to be guilty of that.
But I think like the furthest away it ever was like 17 minutes, which was just after the Cold War. And it's been creeping closer to midnight ever since, basically.
Okay, but hold on. If our greatest time of peace was 17 minutes away from midnight, considering the clock, that's not very far. Like,
No, but you still have a lot of threats in the world.
Mm,
It's going to time nicely to today's episode, actually.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But
You'll see why it ties in nicely. Stay tuned for it.
okay, so go on. Keep explaining, or is there more to explain to it, or is?
I just find it quite interesting.
Oh, bro, it is hella interesting, but I just
That's
don't.
their theory, is that basically there's so many different potential big threats right now. We are the closest civilization has been to wiping itself up.
But at the same time,
That's my interpretation.
saying 89 seconds till midnight is not a good way to contextualize that.
No,
Like, that doesn't fill anybody with fear or like, I'm not Cinderella. Why am I concerned with midnight?
because midnight is bye-bye.
I hear that, but it's still, to me anyway, a terrible way to kind of say, like, we're in a state of emergency, basically.
I get that, but at the same time, like midnight, it resets the day, right? So
Yeah.
what happens when you get to midnight and it don't reset? That is it. That's the end.
Mm, yeah, I still don't like it.
I mean, whether you like it or not, basically, people just are
Oh,
starting.
100%.
People are starting to kind of realize that there is a lot that can go wrong, and very, very quickly at the moment. And the world is an absolute mess.
I mean, bro, considering
Welcome to the Perspective Chasers podcast. It's full of positivity.
you can tell Dave's in charge of the episode. God damn. Yeah, bro, the thing is, I think I don't know. I'd hope the world is getting better, but so much it could all change in an instant. Like somebody could press a button somewhere around the world and it's all over for all of us. We have no bearing on if that's happened or when that would happen or whatever. So you've just kind of got to blindly hope that tomorrow is going to come. No matter how many seconds to midnight is, like.
I think even if like the world is at peace, in our own little worlds, that's all you can do before you go to sleep every night. It
I mean,
ain't guaranteed tomorrow. You
no, it
hope
never
you
is.
actually wake up.
Well, that's the thing. Like you just assume.
And you know what happens when you assume?
You make an ass of you and me.
Damn right.
On that note, should we go get into the
Should
episode?
crack away with that.
What's going on, beautiful people? This is Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John,
And this is a big Dave takeover,
and he's dressed as a blueberry today.
even though the shirt is slightly purple.
Blueberries ain't blue, bro.
and you ain't normal.
Very
All
true.
right.
No.
Anyway, why am I going to take color advice from a man that wears glasses?
Very true. But it is a disability, and that is.
You're saying blueberries ain't blue. Yeah, that's because to you they're just pixelated.
Be fake. Lucky if I see it.
Stick to your dangleberries, bro.
Anyway, you dangleberry. What are we talking about?
You can't use that as an insult. I just said that to you, bro. Like,
Yes, I can.
be a
Yes, I can. Uno reversal right back at you.
That's not universal, bro. That's just
Yes, it is.
understanding.
You're a dangleberry. You look like one, so let's go.
Big nose and Michelin tie in that peninsula.
Again, nobody's ever told me I have a big nose. And as for the Michelin tire, it's because I turned my neck to look at you. Like, if you could see the creases in your neck, my goodness.
Nah, they're just old age, bro. Anyway, so the rest of the episode, he's going to be thinking, is my nose big?
No.
Anyways, on today's episode, we're not talking about that. Kind of connected to what I said in the Did You Know? When I said that there's a doomsday clock and there's a lot of people out there going, well, we're all going to die. Today's episode, I'm asking you, how the hell do you stay positive when the news is so negative? And more importantly, how the hell do you stay away from it all? Because you have no idea what's going on in the world, do you?
I don't watch the news.
I don't watch the news. Still see it.
I don't listen to the radio.
I don't listen to the radio either. Still see it.
I don't really use social media for like consumption purposes.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't fully consume.
I
still see
exist
enough.
very much in my own little John bubble. And most of the world can get stuffed.
That's today's episode over, I guess.
Like,
that was easy. I know we say this is backward self-help, but sometimes it's actually just on the money. Don't use your phones. Don't look out the window. Don't read. Don't write. Don't listen. And you'll be fine.
Basically just exist in solitary confinement for a little while and life will be rosy. But
I mean, you ain't wrong. But it's a valid point. I mean, even if you moderately consume the internet, you will see so much negativity right now about the world. Mainly precipitated by one person in one country.
But bro, that simple thing of like, when there's a crash on the road and you see all the traffic's built up, and it's not because there's actually traffic, it's because every person has slowed down to look at what the bad thing has happened. Bad things just draw attention. Whether you want to or not, whether you're trying to find out, like, is it something I need to avoid or be aware of or whatever. Instinctually, we seem to be drawn to negative things. We just can't help but look away. And I think that's why it's kind of so easy to get caught up in that rabbit hole of like, because as soon as it's just like, oh, this bad thing happened, straight away you want to know what else is going on, how is it going to affect this? Like, if you heard that, I'm trying to think of a bad thing that I can say that's not going to kind of be too thing to something. A bad scenario happens or whatever else, like straight away you're going to want to know the dominoes that knock on from that event. Instead of like a bad crash happens, straight away you're like, oh well, how long is the road going to be locked off for, or this, that, or whatever else, and then how much is traffic backed up? How many people are now going to be late for work and this, that, and everything else? Like, as soon as something bad happens in the world, there's kind of like ripples that come out of it. And where there's ripples, there's people that want to capitalize on that, whether it be from reporting on it, talking about it, or this, that, or whatever else. Like, that information, good or bad, always spreads. And bad seems to spread far more contagiously than good. So, like, yeah, the world does seem crazy at the minute. But there will be good things happening as well. Like, as much as there are crazy things going on in countries, there's going to be good things happening in countries at the same time.
I mean, the world is crazy right now.
But again, like, people say that, but then how much of your day-to-day life has really changed since all of this has kicked off?
Oh, mine hasn't at all, but the world is still an absolute mess.
But then you live in the world. So to say the world is a mess, but then your day-to-day life hasn't changed at all is... Yeah.
Just because it hasn't changed doesn't mean the world isn't a mess. And it's the fact that there's too many things that can happen very quickly that we could create an incredible mess. But on an actual day to day, the wider spread economy is just becoming a mess because everything's got a knock on from
But
everything else.
that's just like living with a looming threat. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always gonna like for anybody. I don't wish this on anybody, but you could have a brain aneurysm at any moment in your life that you was completely unaware of, and that's it. Your life could potentially be over or changed forevermore. Like, you have no control over that. That's why I think I've got a bit of a problem with the idea of like all of this like manifestation stuff and all of that stuff. Because so much in life happens that you couldn't even conceive of.
Mm.
Like, I know parts of my life that I never even imagined, and things happen that way. Do you know what I mean? Like, so even like when people say like, "Oh, never in my wildest dreams," well, like, yeah, not all of us dream of our realities. This and it. Like, life just happens. Things
Mm.
go on in the world, and it affects different things. Like,
Well, look, I just say for the most part, most people's dreams are actually quite ordinary.
mm,
If you ask most people what their dream would be,
mm,
I guarantee you it would fall closer to the realm of fairly normal or reasonable than it would outlandish
mm.
or wild.
But is that just because of where they're at?
I had this conversation with someone earlier on today when I said, like, I have dreams that are kind of goals and I think things that I just want to be happy.
Mm.
You know, my own place, financial security, not millions in the bank, just enough that I don't have to be like, oh God, don't know if I'm going to make that this month. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
just enough so you can ease and the ability to have like a 2 hour nap every day. And that would be golden, bro. Like, you laugh, but tell me that they don't sound good.
Oh, bro, I just love the idea of a
If
nap.
you had all three of those things, you would not really want for much. You definitely wouldn't need much.
Mm.
You got roof, which is security. You got financial security, so you have more time and freedom, and you get to have a nap, bro. Compared to the grinds we've been on, respectively, doing 12 to 18 hour days, 7+ days a week, the luxury of a nap every day, if we wanted it, sign me up, bro. That's not
True.
a wild dream, bro. But at this point, it feels like a dream. It's not a wild dream. The wild dream would be my free tiki bar scenario where I go blow one up on a pirate ship. That's wild, because that makes no bloody sense whatsoever. There is a business in there somewhere, though, but still.
The thing is, I think people are almost kind of like captured by their own kind of ideas of reality in that sense.
Do
So,
you think
like,
we've got to a point in life where people's dreams are becoming more, quote unquote, basic? Because the basic things that we all want seem more unobtainable. Like having your own property, not having to pay interest on everything because you have to do it in installment. Like not having to pay $15 for eggs. Like all these things that like 20 years ago were fairly normal.
I think it's
Whereas now
more.
you're like, oh, this is the way of the world. Okay. So now people's dreams are actually a lot more basic because they're things that they've seen people have, but they can't actually get right now.
I think it's more of a case of like most people's basic needs ain't met in this lifetime. Like, how's the saying go? Most men live lives of. Damn it, I butchered it again.
Jack the Ripper?
No,
I'm just trying to guess where that quote was from.
I can't remember
It sounds
who.
like something Jack the Ripper would say, to be fair.
Damn it, it's it's on the front of my brain or in the front of my brain or
Might be
whatever
more
else.
Sweeney Todd, to be fair. He was a demon barber.
It's what is it? Most men live a life of silent desperation or something like that.
Bleak.
Yeah. But I think it's broader than that. In like most people live a life just spent desiring something. Like whether it be something new, something different, or whatever else. I think there's always that something next.
Mm.
Like we spoke about the other day in terms of like our own stuff and that, like no matter what milestone you reach, eventually you get to the point where you're like, okay, what's next? No matter how big or how good the milestone is. So I think so many people are kind of just conditioned to meet the bottom milestones. And if they don't meet all of those, they don't push on to the bigger dreams. It doesn't even seem possible to have your own empire, have this, have that, when you can't get a couple of things right. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like,
Yeah, no, I do. But then, I also find it strange because if someone said to me, like, I could have my own place tomorrow in a location I'd be fairly happy with, and like earning, did fair money. Again, not outlandish sums. That's not as much as you would probably think. They say 100K mark.
mm.
Not amazingly outlandish, but that's good money. You know what I mean? Most people would be like, that's fair. But it's not like, that's just absurd. You know?
Mm.
I'd be chill. I'd be absolutely chill with that right now.
For a while.
Yeah, but the what next would be more of a I want to do this, not I need to do this. And they're two very, very different things.
I don't know, because I think straight away, so if you was to say up to your batting average from where you are now to there, instantly, I reckon you'd start rubbing elbows with different types of people. You'd take up different hobbies. There'd be new, for example, golf courses that you wanted to go to, new life experiences you want to have. And those things come with higher price tag. And it all kind of snowballs. And this is the thing where it's like, I think there's this kind of teeter-totter in life where things slowly either get more difficult or easier. And you don't notice it so much, like that frog in boiling water. When it happens slow, you kind of climatize without realizing you're climatizing. Whether it be your dreams dwindling, like when you're a kid, you ask somebody what they want to do. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a vet. I want to be a policeman, a fireman, or what? Asking these days, a TikTok creator or whatever else.
I want to
YouTuber.
be a YouTuber or a footballer.
Yeah, whatever it may be. Then ask an adult, man, I just want to get through the day.
Bodily.
So like straight away that all of those dreams and it's all just been dwindled and kind of
Been killed.
yeah.
Absolutely killed. But it's like, weirdly at the moment, I'm in this phase where I live in my dreams, man. Like, I vision them all the time.
Mm.
Like, I made a joke about the free tiki bar thing. I can imagine that vividly, dude. Like, I can fully picture me on a pirate ship, dressed as a pirate, with my close ones, all dressed up similarly, with a proper old-fashioned cannon, and a little sandbank with a tiny little wooden tiki bar that literally has someone just written tiki bar on.
Right.
And me just going, blowing the thing up.
I'm not
And I can also imagine us all going back, rebuilding it, and someone else doing it and getting like really excited about having to do it because it's fun. You see my point?
do you know,
I can vividly imagine it.
do you see
And so
how,
can you. That's why you're smiling, because you know that
oh
would be
no,
nice.
I'm smiling for the weird parallel that
Oh, we're not about to go shh again, are we?
no.
Okay.
So little one was just had World Book Day.
Yeah, my mum dressed up as a pirate.
Yeah, so did little one.
I thought that when I was younger as well.
So they had a specific book that they had to kind of do from or whatever. That's why she was a pirate. But yeah, so I just thought it was like kind of like a funny little thing that you were on about pirates again this week.
She'd be one of the people who gets to blow up a tiki bar. Right?
But yeah, I think just by the time you get to that point in life, like you've either kind of just realized sometimes you've got to do what you don't want to do until you want to do what you do want to do, and then in the process of doing that, most people, life happens. They have kids, they get married, they have mortgages, they whatever. Like just life happens, commitments happen. Like no matter what, you can't stop these various things. Like everybody,
Guys, you put a rapper on it.
that's not gonna like save everything.
Let's just stop having a kid.
It'll stop you having a kid, but it don't stop other things in life, other
Save about
commitments in life.
250K over about 18 to 30 years.
So you got to think of the rate of inflation and everything else. I reckon it's going to take. Wasn't it back in the day? They said it took about £1 million to raise a kid.
Nah, it used to be about 150K, I think.
Surely not.
Yeah, but it's obviously a bit higher now. That's like to 18. So you wouldn't be paying that uni or anything like that.
But then what would that include rent and all of that stuff? Because all of this is increasing nowadays. Like
That's the point.
everything's just on the up and
But
up
there you
and
go.
up.
If you think you might want a kid, instead, pretend you're going to have a kid for 9 months and stress. And then on the day they're born, which, hey, you get to decide, but it's more convenient for you because it's all pretend, right? Start actually spending like you would if you was a parent. But every time you spend, wire it to a savings account and you'll thank me in 18 years' time. Especially if it's got a good interest rate. 5% plus.
I mean,
I reckon that's a hack to make yourself a millionaire. That's your formula. Try this hack to become a millionaire. Well, all right, baby's gonna need a cot. Well, how much a cot? 300 quid. Into the savings account.
yeah, bro.
I mean, it wouldn't work because people would be dipping into their savings account for this. But you get my point.
I mean, what if you just have a kid that is successful and they go out and make millions?
That's long-term investment, bro. I ain't got time for that.
You don't have time for that.
I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for them to go egotistical and looking down on me all holier than thou because they feel like they're better than me. I created you.
Yeah, you got a very bleak outlook on kids these days.
I keep them like super naive and then trick them into putting me in their will and then I bump them off, bro. And then just take that milk.
Right.
Job done.
Yeah, no. Maybe just stay uncle.
The investors pay dividends, bro.
Yeah, no father day. Just
You can tell I'm not in the right. You can tell I'm not in a be a dad vein, huh?
yeah. Hopefully that vein stays closed because it would be shell shock to go from like, man, you would have to yo-yo so much the moment that you realize that this little entity is more important than you.
Come on now, let's be real,
Like,
bro. You know that would be a club.
oh, 100%. But even
Purely
still,
because of that.
but just genuinely, like that yo-yo from like, oh, like I want my empire, this, that, to everything else, to like, I will stay awake to watch you sleep just to make sure you're breathing.
However, you are living proof that the first part of that is a load of bollocks.
What's that?
Excuse my French. The first thing you said was, "Oh, my empire," and then you switched it to, "Oh no, I will literally stay awake to make sure this thing breathes."
Mm-hmm.
You're acting as if they can't be done together simultaneously. You're living proof. You are a living hypocrisy of that.
Yes
Is it
and
as
no.
direct and as aggressive as someone like myself could do with their kids? No. Does that mean that you can't do it? Well, it's not possible at all.
It's
It's harder, yes.
more
More
about
tiring, yes. More sacrifice, yes. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I get that. I'm not downplaying that. But just the way you said that almost insinuated like they're not possible to have parallel. You've been doing that.
yeah, but it's like that whole spinning plates analogy and that you can't do that right away. Like it takes time to learn. Like, I had to learn how to properly be a dad and have that whole kind of awakening in that phase, realize that she is more important than me, and inevitably I'm doing all of this to give her a better life and this, that, and everything else. That's like, although I do this and sometimes it takes away from my time with her, at the same time, it's building more time and better time with her because I'm a better person once I've done this. Because I feel like I'm working towards that better goal, which means I'm happier in myself, which means I can show up better when I'm with her. So it all kind of circulates, but it still has to take that time where it's like, I didn't start this until she was a couple years old. And that whole kind of process, I wouldn't have been able to start this at that time because I was struggling to keep up. So you climatize over time and you learn all these things. So like no matter how hard things may feel, like I mean, there was times where I thought the whole world was gonna end because I'm gonna become a dad and I'm not prepared for it. But you find out that that really isn't true. Like so much, and this ain't to say that becoming a dad was a bad thing, it was the best thing that ever happened to you. But so much that you perceive as bad can happen in life. And life still goes on. You can lose loved ones, you can lose friends, you can lose jobs, you can lose limbs. Life still goes on. There is so much bad that can happen in life. But guess what? Life finds a way to continue. even if all that's going on in the world goes to complete doo-doo right now, life will find its way. It might take a couple of million years, and it might not necessarily be in the form that we perceive it now, but life will find its way to re-emerge. It might be animal life, it might be human life or mammal life, or whichever way you want to contextualize it. But life will find its way to keep on moving. But because we are us, we are our own individual entities, we think that it all begins and ends with us. But the world was here before us and it'll be here after us. Think about the people that built the pyramids. Did they build them to last thousands and thousands of years after they was here?
Talking about, bro, they just appeared, man.
Trust aliens, bro. Or were they built to be used at a time and now they're left as a remnant of that time?
Oh, bro, it's alien. Bro, that's alien satellite, man. They're in there just kind of feeding off the world.
Imagine it's just like the nipples of the world. Like, that's just what planet nipples look like. It's just pyramids.
Well, there's aliens who are using that as a funnel to like extract everything from like the center of the earth, and slowly it's just gonna cave in.
They're just milking the earth, bro.
Legit.
They're milking the earth from the
Bro,
pyramids.
Egyptian nipples.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, that's got to be a new theory, right?
Nipples, bro.
But yeah, so like, I don't know. Is there any more that we need to delve into this topic? Huh?
The melon.
Melon.
Melon's a melon, cause there's a cause. You know what I mean?
Imagine that we're just a cosmic tit.
I can't wait for the day that there is someone who just clips us from no context, because that is just
Right.
just no context. That needs to be a short, just like that. Just a 3-second thing. Imagine we're a cosmic tit. That's it. That's the short, bro.
Genuinely, like, there are so many ways that...
No, look, we wouldn't be a tit, bro. We'd
be the other end.
be a dangly one.
I mean, and then you'd have
That's what the solar system is. It's just one big Newton's cradle of bollocks. Oh, it's the sun.
That would be a pitiful existence. But would it? Again, like, your life has as much meaning as you give it. So even if we are existing on a perpetual knocking of nutsacks,
Perpetual.
your life will have as much meaning as you want it to have.
True.
Right, should we wrap this bad boy up?
I think to summarize this is, even if the world does end, you'll be fine.
You won't.
No, but I like that this kind of mutated from like a, how do you stop everything being like, and it became actually, have dreams, man. Dreams are good. Dreams are dreams. They can be as wild as you want. They're your dreams.
And have kids. Like, we do need more people.
Don't have kids. We've got enough bloody people on this planet as it is, man.
I mean, got enough of him, but if you're like me, have kids.
We've got like 7 billion people in this world, and there's probably a few million of them that make up of like 3 people a person. So that means we've got like 10 billion people in this world. We're good, homie.
Yes, but how many of those people ain't gonna last? How many of those people are just...
Having kids is selfish.
I mean,
It's coming on the next Big Dave takeover. I'm gonna come at you about that.
Having kids is selfish.
Selfish.
I genuinely want to do an episode on that then.
I will out logic you so hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm here for that. We're gonna go toe to toe.
Having kids is dumb. Though I love the one you have, but because she's my goddaughter, my favorite goddaughter.
Your
For the
only
most part,
goddaughter.
my favorite goddaughter.
Your only goddaughter.
My favorite goddaughter.
You have another goddaughter?
Yeah.
Where? Who? When? Why?
Scottish side of the family.
When? When?
2 years ago.
Mine was first.
My favorite goddaughter.
No, she's the prime. You can only be a godfather once.
No.
You god whore.
Having kids is selfish, you see, because now he's got a complex and he's all insecure about things.
You're out there whoring yourself out to just be...
I didn't give my CV out and go, choose me as the godfather.
To anybody's children.
My name is Al Capone. I want to be the godfather. I got selected, homie. It's just like jury service.
Maybe you'll get deselected after people see this.
But don't you worry, I'll bring the Godfather.
child
I'll bring the
hater.
Godfather fight into the whole children are selfish and children are selfish debate. Don't you worry.
It's cool. Look out for the child hater episode.
Not a child hater episode, bro. It's a hater of people who have children. Children are fine, man. They're cool. They're innocent. They just do their thing, man.
So you're a parent hater.
Oh my god.
Fair. So you're a parent
She's
hater.
innocent. She's just doing her thing, man. She's just smashing things up and making me run around. It's not her fault that I lose, my bro. She's cool, man. I love her.
I mean,
You're the selfish idiot.
how?
Mr. Slip tripped it fell in. Oopsies.
But we'll get into this on the episode. Because this is going to go far too friggin' long for today.
Might be the first, like, only on Patreon episode ever available.
We can't even do that right now. Just because of technical
It's going to be locked in the archives and released eventually for like £5 a pop.
Oh, no, we're going to hash
Maybe
this
it
out.
was £5 a pop.
This needs to be hashed out now. Right, do we have a C for this episode?
Oh.
Don't watch the news.
No.
If you want to be happy, don't watch the news.
If more people put their seed in a bin or something, then there wouldn't be as many people on the planet.
Maybe if people... I can't even think of a comeback right now. Stop hating on people.
I will never stop hating on people.
Fair. Some people need hating on.
And to the person out there who is called people, I'm sorry.
Do you reckon there is somebody named people?
Gotta be. Surely we're just running out of names at this point, though.
I don't know, but people are digging the bottom of that barrel and naming their kids weird.
That's my point. Surely we're just running out of names. And someone's going to get called Stapler. What's your name, Stapler McGee?
But yeah.
My name is Quack Quack McRabbit.
Did I even probably do the seed?
No.
Yes. Right. Seed for this episode is even if the world does feel bleak, understand there is always going to be good things that you can find. Like if you was to wake up and step on a plug, you can say the day is going to be a bad day, or that that's the bad thing for the day out of the way.
And I'm the negative one. And my mind, of all the metaphors, decided to go with one of the most heinous ones you could do around your household.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the negative one.
Mm-hmm.
Ross.
So yeah. Choose how you look at the day, because you can't choose what scenario you're in.
I'm just like the plug, okay? We're both grounded.
Oh, you're a plug, all right.
We're both grounded.
You're a plug.
Electrical joke.
You plug.
It's not going to work.
And on that note, catch you on the next one.
Good luck editing that.